Hey everyone, Mark DC Insurance is here, and today we're going to be doing my review of The Flash Season 8, Episode 8, titled The Fire Next Time. I love this episode. 10 out of 10, easily. One of the best episodes, if not the best episode of Season 8 so far at least. I don't want to jinx it yet, especially what happened with Season 7, and right now it's with Armageddon, where episode 4 was really good, except when I went to episode 5, I jinxed it way too much. This time I'm not jinxing it. But I love this episode. I think the reason why I loved it so much was because it really reminded you of like the 9/11 attacks. And I know a lot of people complain this about The Flash lately. It's just that how much of a cartoon it's becoming. I feel like they should start taking that very Walking Dead approach, and it seems like they're listening to us right now. Because now I think because the backlash some people have with Armageddon was parts of the tone did not work. This is the tone I enjoy, where it's this very very serious, very dark tone, like. You don't know what's going to happen, and surprise, surprise, it's actually already happened before you find out it's too late. Tone like that is what I always enjoyed about The Flash. And that's one of the main reasons I actually really enjoyed Season 6. It had that type of a feeling that things were going way too late before you even figure out what was going on. And that's something I always enjoyed about Season 6. And this episode really kind of cemented a lot of theories I actually had. In this episode, you saw Barry getting annoyed at like Cecile and Caitlin and nearly yelling at them. And later in the episode, you realize you see Barry drinking beer. And for people who don't know, beer is essentially alcohol, meaning they're gonna set up Barry being a horrible father, a horrible husband, horrible father, like Peter Griffin essentially. And that is something I want to see. I want to see how they're going to treat Barry as like a horrible person, someone that's nothing like him, that's basically like Savitar, just not future, more present day Savitar. They also set up the fire meta. In fact, next week's promo, it shows that there is a ghost-like character, and this is where I think my theory of it being Ghost Rider comes up. They're gonna be using the character Ghost Rider for the Black Flame and the Red Death because of next week. In fact, Ghost Rider was also a name used by a Marvel character known as Phantom Rider. And because of that, means that maybe Phantoms is Phantom Rider, not Phantom Girl. Maybe they might actually make Phantom Girl the Ghost Rider, Red Death, or Black Flame, or the Phantom Rider. One, like that type of a character. Who, yeah. And we also kind of had the Cabal Blues storyline at times, with the Allegra storyline. And it was really that really elevated me into really thinking that that's the Cabal Blues storyline. Because at the end of the episode, Allegra's co-worker essentially says that she's not forgiving her, and Allegra is a member of Team Flash, so maybe that person could be Barry Allen's sister, and we could see Cobalt Blue. So many theories for this episode. See, all my theories were kind of correct. Meaning Ghost Rider could potentially show up. And that's kind of the only way I could see them doing Red Death. I can't see them doing Batman Flash because they're going to be doing either Greener or Batwoman and Flash, and a lot of people are going to hate that. For some reason, a lot of people hate Batwoman, which, by the way, the only reason Batwoman is hated is just because channels just like to hate on it. If there's any other channel that actually just has a problem with Batwoman but still has hope, that's completely different. that's a channel that generally has hope. Like, and we all know what I'm talking about when I'm talking about channels that just watch Batwoman just to hate on. We know what I'm talking about, but we're not going to talk about him. Not a good YouTuber, in my opinion at least. Yeah, and I think a Ghost Rider be more the Red Death is going to be less controversial. Let's be honest. If I was really comparing a Batwoman Flash, Ghost Rider Flash Red Death, I could kind of see more people being more with the Ghost Rider Flash Red Death. It's less controversial, etc. And same with the Cobalt Blue storyline. I don't think Eddie would really be a villain that would really tear apart Barry and Iris' marriage for one main reason. In season 1, when Eddie finds out that Iris gets married and Barry and Allen get married, he doesn't hide that. He just opens that to Iris that Eddie is not going to marry her no matter what. Even if he does right now, I mean, he's still, and plus, he respects both Barry and Iris. I just find it harder for me to believe that it's gonna be Eddie. Maybe they might use an evil version of Eddie. That is more likely and less controversial. And that is more likely. Whereas a female Cobalt Blue, like Barry Allen's sister, is the more likely one because in the comics, Cobalt Blue or Malcolm Dawn, essentially growing up hates the Barry Allen for all the life he had. Like, he believes that he deserved a life like that. So same thing could be here with I think her character's name was Taylor. I think that was the name, but maybe that could be the main storyline for Cobalt Blue. So lots of theories in this season. I also really like the Hotness. I think it was a great character. I mean, I really liked him in season 4. I really enjoyed him in season 4, but I think it was better here. I don't know what else to add, except this episode is probably the best episode of season 8. Yep. It's better than Armageddon Part 2. Way better than Armageddon Part 2. It's better than Armageddon Part 1 and 4. Last week's episode 7, Lockdown, was a good episode. Don't get me wrong, it was a great episode. I just had a lot of problems with it. So right now, I would have to give the Fireman next time an A or an A+. One of the best episodes ever. Very, very serious episode, which I always enjoy. I personally prefer The Flash a lot more when it goes like this Family Guy or Walking Dead tone where it's like, hey audience, take a Negan. I'm Negan, I said, not the other word. No, we're like, if I'm going to admit, I'm going to say this right now, I'd say Family Guy has had a more darker, more serious approach than The Flash in recent years. At least with season 7 and 8. I'd say The Family Guy is a more darker show. And that's kind of why I want The Flash to start taking a more darker and more serious approach. Because I think I really like it more. But anyways, that's my thoughts on the episode. What are your thoughts on the episode? So sign up in the comments down below. And as always, I'll see you next time. Goodbye.